Do you have a value? As a person, as a living being, as a human being, do you have a value? Some people will say yes, other people will say no. You are so valuable that it's not definable by current words and numbers. But today's video is more of a rant about one specific way of thinking. Nothing defines your value. And I personally think there are a lot of things that define your value, and there are some things that don't define your value as much as people make it appear. More about that in a moment. But before we begin, I have to tell you that this is Yury Experience, and here I share my various experiences about different topics. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Nothing in this world defines you. Nothing in this world defines your value. Is it true? Is it wrong? Obviously, there's no clear, objective answer to that question, which is why I will be completely honest, my opinion is pretty subjective. There are a hell lot of different things that do define your value, although a lot of people try to make it appear as if these things don't define your value at all. How much do they define your value? How important is this specific attribute in terms of determination of your value? It is completely subjective and completely dependent on the context, completely dependent on what value we are talking about. Is it value for the society? Is it value for a specific group? Is it value for your family? Because the answer will be different for each of these groups. Because of various reasons, actually. Let me give you a couple of examples. Example number 1, your appearance, and there are a couple of movements that are based on this idea that your appearance doesn't define your value. Body positivity, fat acceptance are 2 of the examples of various movements that are basically concentrating themselves on your appearance is nothing that defines you. You are a human being and you are valuable. It doesn't matter what appearance you have. But is it though? On the one hand, we have definite appearance bias in humanity. More attractive people have more opportunities throughout their life. They are allowed to do more throughout their life, and we behave and comprehend these people in different way that we do with not as attractive people. A person which is overweight will probably not be the best person to run a marathon. And again, in this context, in context of a marathon, in context of some specific activity, a person's appearance does have importance. An overweight person will with high probability not be suitable for running a marathon. A person that is not objectively or societally attractive will probably not be a good model for whatever. And obviously you can give me hundreds of exceptions, but these are exceptions, and that's what makes them 2 exceptions. There exists a rule which creates an exception. So most of the people are following the rule, and there are some exceptions for whom this rule is not applicable. But to say that your appearance doesn't define your value, your importance in the world is, in my personal opinion, wrong and kinda a lie. Because society doesn't work like that. In society, your appearance has a value. Another example, second example, knowledge, abilities, skills. Do they define your value as a person? Technically you could say no. It doesn't matter what university did you study at, what school did you visit. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all of us are human beings that have some value in them. But my question again will be, does real world work like that? And the real world says no. For real world, it is important that you have this strange piece of paper where it's written down that you finished some specific university and acquired some specific degree. And if you didn't acquire that degree, then you cannot work at this specific work. You cannot have this job. You cannot have that salary. Does it make sense? Not always. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but the point is your knowledge, skill set, abilities and whatnot, what you acquire throughout your life, defines your opportunities, defines your possibilities. Is it always important? No, definitely no. But in a lot of contexts, what you have inside of your head, what are you able to do with your hands is important in order to achieve something, in order to bring attention to yourself, in order to have some value bring some value to the conversation or to some action. Okay, we covered the most obvious external value and the most obvious internal value. So appearance and like knowledge, being able to think, kinda. But somehow there is one thing that does define your value, and it is your opinions. Your opinions somehow define your value, although everything else does not. If you have bad opinions, you are a bad person and you are a not valuable conversation partner, or maybe not valuable participant in the society. And I don't know why in this way of thinking, nothing defines your value, opinions are such a great exception. Or why is it even an exception? Why your opinion defines your value, although everything else about you, everything else that created your opinion doesn't. But it allows other people not to listen to you because you don't have worth in you. You are worthless because your opinions are worthless. You don't have value because your opinions are wrong in some specific context. Is it really like that? Not in my personal opinion, obviously, but there are some people who would say you are great as you are, but don't you dare to say some specific combination of words, some specific opinions, because that will make you a disgusting person. Everything else is great, you are whatever, what to. But that specific opinion is worth than, I don't know, than everything, than being a Hitler. Okay, that's maybe not the best example, but I hope you understand what I mean. In the end, I will tell you my personal opinion on the matter, and as you probably already understood, my opinion is everything pretty much defines your value, your worth that you can bring to some specific conversation, some action, some surroundings, some context. And by that, I don't want to tell you that you are a worthless human being only because you, for example, don't have a degree, or because you are not a traditionally attractive person, or whatever else. There are a lot of attributes to a human body or a human person that can define you as a good person, bad person, valuable or not valuable person. No, the question is, can you apply your whatever in this specific situation, in this specific context? If yes, you have some value. If no, you have less value. But it doesn't mean that there will be no other context where your value will be way higher than all other people, just because you are you. But I don't want to go as far as tell it doesn't matter whatever you are, your value is high, or your value is low, or your value is average. We are different. All of us are different human beings with different experiences, knowledge, brain size and brain head. Yes, we have similar brain sizes and brain head sizes. That's what I tried to say. But the point is, society has some hierarchies in it. Societies have some values, thanks to which some things are important and other things are not important. Some things are more preferable to have as a person and other things are not as important. And that will define your value in some specific situation. Overall, you are a human being and nobody can technically take it from you, at least in a complete sense of it. We can make it appear like it was taken from you, for example, slavery. But overall, your humanness will not go away. It is just that in some specific situations it is not needed, or you are not needed. In others, yes. But in this situation you are not needed and you have not as much value, which is completely fine and okay, at least in my personal opinion. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it is the case, please drop a like. You can also leave a comment. You can also leave a like and subscribe and whatnot. You can also find me here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Yes. Bye.